If you're new to these calls, they're every Sunday. They are at 2 o'clock New York time. They are free and they're for everybody. So I'm glad that you could join us and make it. My name is Kelly Kolodny, and I have been channeling the angel Raphael since I was about 21, long time. um, so yeah, very long time, maybe I was even younger than that. I guess 1989. So it's been a while. And Raphael talked about for so long this moment in time in history where we would go through this enormous shift and never quite fully understood what that meant and kept talking about it and talking about it. And here we are, we're in it, right? We are in it. So sometimes it can be a little unnerving and it can be challenging. But if we remember that we all signed up to be here on the planet during this incredible moment in history to bring light, it helps us to stay present in the now and to hold the joy. So today, I'm going to channel the angel Raphael, and we'll bring in the message and get an energetic update of what's going on the planet. And then we'll do an activation to support you in connecting more with your higher self, with your own individual I am that I am presence, to embody more love, to embody more light, and to anchor that light into the earth and into your being so that you can feel good. So right now I'm in the process of teaching the I Am Creation course. We've got about a week left of that. And in that process, we've been really working with looking at our limiting beliefs, looking at our trauma, at our memories, at things that we have stored in our body, in our physical body, in our cells and our tissues, and our emotional and our mental body, and just a willingness to be ready to kind of graduate from holding on to that stuff, a willingness to say, hey, it's okay, it's time to let go. And that's what's happening. We're all letting go of all this old junk that we don't need anymore, that we have carried through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, including this one. And we're all waking up to the remembering that we are divine. And when we remember that, we can start to bring more light to it. And it just kind of it comes up. And we're seeing that happening in the collective, right? It's all just coming up to be released, to be healed, for us to bring love to it and compassion. So for those of you who are new to this whole process, I'll give you a short explanation because of how I channel. Make sure you can see me okay. For me, when I started to channel back as a young girl, and I didn't know what channeling was, I had no clue. I was just kind of in college living my life. And I had a chiropractic adjustment, actually, through what was called network chiropractic. And through this very gentle touch on my spine, spontaneously and out of nowhere, the Kundalini energy just kind of woke up in me, and my body would move in a wave on the table, and it would go back, and my arms would swing back, and I would be in the surrendering position. And I've always been fairly trusting and open, maybe to a fault. Part of my life lesson is to create more boundaries and to hold space for self. But I was so open that everything just kind of came flooding in. And not only was it, oh my goodness, where I'm living right now, there is this squall of snow. And it's crazy, it's everywhere, and it's so beautiful. Just I don't know where you are, if you can see it, but so pretty. And it's hitting the daffodils and the forsythia and all the flowers. So it's a pretty contrast. Anyhow, so the energy just came in through my body, and it came in through my sister, Mary Ellen, and I at the same time, which was miraculous. Thank goodness it happened to both of us spontaneously, because back in the late 80s, people were not channeling. People were not talking about star seeds. People were not hanging out with angels. There were a few, But there weren't many, not like today. And you certainly weren't going around telling people that you channel an angel. They looked at you like you had 10 heads. So the fact that she was somebody who was very corporate and businesslike, and it was happening to her, kind of gave it credibility in a sense, and helped us to work together with the energy. But when Raphael first came in, Raphael said that Raphael is this beautiful spiral of white light that had descended through the dimensions to where we are now here, and was here to wake up humanity. And that Raphael and these beings of light would slowly over the years come in through more and more people. And Raphael said, and people all over the planet in every country will be interested in connecting to our messages. And a big change is going to happen, and you're going to feel it. And there's going to be a lot of issues with the water. There'll be too much water and not enough water. And there'll be all this division and polarity. And there'll be these huge things that will happen on the planet, these wake-up calls to get humanity to remember their own divinity. And we would write all that down and tape record everything Raphael said. And it wasn't really clear what it meant, but here we are. We're in it, right? We're in it now. So I'm going to bring in Raphael. We'll see what the energy update is for today, for where we are in this now moment, the year 2022, in our evolutionary process. The way I channel is I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to make these sounds like that, toning. And then Raphael will say hello. And wherever you guys are, you have got your speaker off, but you're going to say hello back. Please do that. That way I can tap into your energy and Raphael can love you up. And then we'll hear the message. I have found in the past on these calls that when I tone, it seems to affect the volume. So I am going to turn off my volume now that I think most people have gotten on the call. So don't be alarmed if you cannot hear me. That's on purpose. Until I'm done toning, then I'm going to kind of come into my body for a minute and turn on my speaker and bring in Raphael. Okay? So just hang tight. And Casey, are you there, sweetheart?
Yes.
Fabulous.
Hello.
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 Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. We are so delighted to be here with all of you today because we have such good news to share with you. It is that you had hit a critical point in which when we were witnessing it from our perspective, from the angelic realm, it was like a train moving at a fast pace toward a brick wall. And although we did not lose faith, and we knew that you would succumb to coming into the light, and that you would recognize the importance of your presence and maintaining your center in order to emanate enough light, in order for that train to shift courses, there were a few hairy moments. And it is that we are wanting you to know from the galactic perspective, from the higher realms, that the course, or what many of you talk about, is the timeline has shifted, meaning that there were two potential timelines that could have occurred recently this week that could have really amplified some things that would have created more destruction, more chaos, and difficulty for many beings simultaneously around your globe. And yet so many of you have been disengaging from the fear, have been embodying the light, have been holding your center, have been expanding your love, have been choosing love over fear. And then you created a mass tipping point. And whether that was you were breathing or doing your yoga or meditating or taking a walk or choosing to disengage from certain activities that are based in fear, that willingness and action and intent, as small as it may have seemed, has been enough. It has been enough in that there has been a shift energetically. Now, this does not mean that other things are going to continue to come up, and they may amplify even more as you move through time and space for more and more and more of those who are needing that knock to wake up. But it is that the massive what is your word here? Massive destructive or I cannot get the word from her brain, event has been averted. And so we are so excited today, and we are so happy, and we want to celebrate, and we want to congratulate all of you on a job well done in your steadfast ability to hold the light. And so it is that I am here today as Archangel Raphael to congratulate you, to celebrate you, and to love you, and to remind you of who you are. And as I have said over and over, we have come and descended through the spiral of light from other dimensions to be here to communicate with you in many different forms, through many different vessels and many different beings across the globe. And the reason for coming is to sometimes just be that little whisper that whispers in your ear that you are worthy, that you are worthy again and again and again. And you keep like a fly smatting us about and pushing us away, and you don't want to hear it. Criticizing yourself and continuing to tell yourself you're something other than divine love, other than completely perfect as you are, other than fully worthy, and continuing to drop into the lower mental mind and the chatter of unworthiness, where you repeat patterns and old ways of being. And so some of you get so caught in that loop and in that forgetting of your worthiness, which the worthiness is a remembering of your divinity. Because if you remember that you are absolutely 100% divine, that you have come from source, you will return to source, and that you are source, you are God, you are love, you are all of those things having this temporary experience. When you awake to that, which you may understand or have heard enough intellectually, but fully know and completely and absolutely embody that, really embodying that, then all the rest doesn't really matter, because then you attune to whatever it is that you are wanting to bring into form and creation, to explore and to play and to enjoy the experience and the physicality of form. And when you recognize your own divinity in the mirror of the divine of who it is that you are and embody that love, you hold the frequency of that vibration of worthiness. And it is the lack of feeling worthy, the lack of love for self, that is at the crux of everything, because it is when you are not loving and adoring and recognizing the beauty and the divinity in self, you drop into the lower quadrants of the mental mind, the ego mind, the self-absorbed energetic form that feels unworthy or less than. And from that, there is a need to be right, or a need to prove oneself, or a need to be superior, or to create power structure or hierarchy. But as you all awaken to that remembering, those structures that were put in place to hold you in a state of separation, to hold you in a state of division and separateness and hierarchy, of greater and less than, of comparison, of ego, and of a sense that another is better than one, and that you are not all the same, have nothing to be held accountable to, have nothing, no reason for being. And so they naturally will become obsolete. They naturally will begin to dissolve. They naturally will start to expose the truth behind their structure, that it had come and was born and based out of fear. And so they will collapse because then their structure becomes destabilized. And so you are witnessing the breaking down, the destabilization, the collapsing of anything that was born or built out of hierarchy, born or built out of ego, out of superiority, out of comparison, out of control, and out of suppression of the recognition of your own worthiness and divinity, can no longer maintain its molecular structure in the light quotation that has descended upon the planet. It is unable to sustain itself because too much light is bombarding it and exposing it for what it is. And so it has to collapse in the face of that light. And as all of you have held so much light and continue to, and we encourage you to maintain that quotation of light, you are shifting continuously timelines, so that the waking up is still happening. And many who have contracted before coming to the planet in order to assist in going through certain processes, to be the reflection in the mirror for others to witness, to wake up the masses who have chosen certain experiences. There's deep gratitude for those. But the idea is that through all of this, you can move through it with as little destruction, as little chaos, as little suffering as possible, that you can move into this new phase of your evolution as a human species in a gentle and loving way with the most grace and ease. And so every time you, and I'm talking to you directly as you are listening to this, choose love over fear in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions, and in your being, you are contributing at a very mass scale to the shifting of a timeline that begins to move away from the need for the witnessing and the understanding and the programming of the collapsing to be difficult, but to be done gently with a smooth and easy transition for prosperity and beauty and love and healing for all. And so thank you. Deep gratitude for you and for your willingness to be born and to come to earth and to be here during this exciting time and to embody this light. So what we're wanting to do today is to attune to all of you, particularly that are listening to this in this now moment. As for it is that I am the Archangel Raphael, and yet I am not here alone, for there are legions of angels with me. As far as you can see into the sea of the horizon beyond space and time, there are ascended masters holding and radiating light and bombarding your planet. There are galactic energies that are coming in from multi-universes and other dimensions and pinholes and wormholes down to radiate love to Mother Earth. There are beings from star systems that many have come from Syria and Arcturian and the starseed beings that are here and have landed and may not be visible to the eye, but walk among you. And we are all here with you as guiding lights, loving you and caring for you, and a willingness to see us, to feel us, to appreciate us, to ask to walk amongst us and to feel the love that we feel, to know the way that we know, and to attune to our way of life will support you in connecting to those frequencies that you have known, that you have lived in, that you have dwelled in ancient times and civilizations, as you have walked across this earth, as you know, in Lemuria and Atlantis and ancient Egypt and beyond. But that in the timeline that you are in now, in the body that you are in now, in the human experience that you are in now, in the year of the month of March of 2022, May you embody that light. May you turn over the lower mental mind. May you turn over the ego mind. May you turn over the fear, the sorrow, the anxiety, the grief, and the fear, the energy of the old way of separation, division, and polarity, of judgment and criticism, of gossiping, all of that silliness, the need to be right, the victim, the martyr. May you turn it over to your higher self, to the I am that I am, and ask that it be consumed in the great cosmic light of all that is, burning back into the great central sun where it originated from, knowing that it does not need to return, for that game that you were playing is over. You see, we've pulled the plug on the game of separation, and yet you're still acting it out because it's almost as if you've been in a prison for so long that the door's been open, but you're so used to the familiarity of what is comfortable that you're afraid to step out into what is the unknown. But the unknown is actually what is more comfortable and more familiar, because it is the original state of grace of who it is that you are. And so with that, we want you to close your eyes and to feel our love, to feel our energy emanating out and toward you, in you and around you and through you. For we do not live outside of you, out in the distant stars, but we dwell and live within your own heart. As above, so below, the macro and the microcosm coming together in the 0 point of the heart center is where we shall enter today. And as we enter, we shall bring the cosmic light of the great central sun, of all the love that ever was and ever shall be, that born and brought forth creation itself, into you, because it is not separate from you. You and it are one. So as you close your eyes now, dropping into the body and beginning to breathe in really nice, all the way in and let go. All the way in, deep, deep breath, letting go, dropping down and anchoring yourself at this now moment into the core of Mother Earth as she cradles and holds and bathes you with her love. Open your heart and share blessings of gratitude at this now moment to the earth. For she has been your home for however long you have been in this body, in the incarnation you are in now. She has given you all the food and the fuel that you need to be well and whole. She has given you the water and the fluid that you need to nourish your cells. She has brought you the sunlight to open up the view of the eye to see, and the beauty all around. For she has shared her sunsets and sunrises and her snowflakes and her beautiful flowers, her birds chirping in the sky and her squirrels skimpering up the tree. She has brought you the grass when you laid in it and looked up at the clouds and the stars. For she loves and adores you and gives you her life. She gives you everything without condition and without expectation. And yet, as you open your heart in blessings and gratitude to her, and you send her love down into her core, she shoots it back up at you and sends it and amplifies it in and around and all through you. And as you bless the ground that you walk on, and all that you see that Mother Earth has given, and the bounty and the abundance about you, she begins to expand upon that in your willingness to see that beauty, to bless it, and to drop into gratitude. And with that, she begins to open the energies within your heart and the heavens above as you attune to the I am that I am presence in this now moment. Each and every one of you has your own unique, what you might call higher self, going beyond the higher self, even beyond the angelic realm, to what we call the I am that I am presence. Right before entering into source itself, in which it bleeds into the energy of complete and absolute love, of a shining light beyond words, is a contained energy that is still a reflection and a mirrored action of who it is that you are, the activity of your light, encased in the form of a sphere of love. This energy, sometimes you start to feel it, sometimes feels like an intuitive understanding or a knowing. Sometimes you call it a God, or you turn to it in times of great sorrow or pain. But we ask you to turn now to this energy that is a part of and is you, unique to you, the I am that I am, the sphere of love that resides with you, and turn to it and ask it to care for you, to love you, and to know that the mental mind that has been the construct of the ego that has kept you in form and separation no longer has to be your guiding force, but that you may turn over that in which you feel you must solve and think and figure out and do to the I am that I am. And so with that, attune right now to your I am presence as it begins to become closer and closer to you and to where it is that you are. You may begin to feel its energy emanating and moving in toward your heart. It may have a visual to it, the I am that I am presence. If you see it in the form of who you are as a reflection of self, is taller than you are in your physicality. It is shimmering with light and glowing. It is luminous and its eyes are clear and bright. It is in divine and absolute perfect health and abundance in every way, for it doesn't have a worry or a thought in any moment, for it is always only in the presence of the now. It is here to serve and to love and to be a guiding light for you. Any problem that you have, it may bring its light, its energy into you, and it may come into wherever that problem is and move through it and consume it as it bonds its light to it, creating solution to come quickly and freely with clarity. And so as you attune to this I am presence, creating a deeper and deeper relationship with the I am that I am, bringing it closer to where it is that you are, it wants to say something to you, wants to remind you of something. And it says to you, hello, I love you. I have always been with you and I always will be. I have been with you from the moment you took your breath, not just your breath here in the form of this incarnation, but each time you took the body to be your shell, each time you took the body on to be the dwelling and the vacant place of your home. I am that I am, and I am ever fast, ever standing, always present with you. I love you more than you can know. I adore who it is that you are, and I see the divinity and the perfection in you. And yet I recognize that sometimes in the human experience, it's not easy. Sometimes your heart gets wounded and hurt. Sometimes people say things that make you feel less than or unworthy or reject you. Sometimes there is injustice and unfairness and things go wrong. And yet know that I steadily, continuously through all of that, for anything you've ever done or said or been that was not in alignment with love, I forgive you because I see how divine and perfect you are. And I stand with you. And I come to you today to tell you, my dear loved one, that you do not need to go through this alone, that I am here for you and whatever it is that you need. But you sometimes get caught in the idea of your mind and you close me out as you put blinders on and forget that I am there. And then I sit off to the side, lonely, watching, waiting, seeing the tears as they roll down your face and the sorrow, the pain, or the depression, or the anxiety, so deeply wanting to come to be with you and to say, it doesn't have to be like that. I can come in and help you. I can be there for you if you will only open your door to me. And so I am coming and knocking now, knocking on your heart to say, open to me, please, my dear child. And as you open to me, I shall come, and you can give me anything, for the consumption of the light substance of the cosmic love that I hold can consume any problem that you can come up with or conceive for self or the earth, the world at whole. For I am here to love you, to adore you, and to consume that for you. But you must have faith in me, for you have forgotten to trust me. You see, abundance in everything that you need in any way, from joy to fruit, to abundance in money, to relationship, to love, and to health. It is your God-given birthright. But somehow you forgot and you began to mistrust me. You thought, well, what if I can figure it out on my own? And you turned your back to me and got caught in your mind and in your thoughts, in your way of being, thinking you had to do it and figure it out. And in the figuring it out on your own, it did not always work out. And then you started to believe it would not, or that you had to try harder, or that it wasn't possible. And you forgot the infiniteness of your capability, of the creation of who you are, that you created it to begin with, because you are the creator. But now you're waking up to that. Some of you slower and some of you quicker. But whatever pace you are waking to, seeing me and finding me and remembering me is divine, and it is perfect. So I will keep knocking and knocking and knocking until you hear my call. But know that I'm knocking today and talking to you through this vessel to say, hello, come out and be with me. So give to me today any problem you have, just hand it over. And then let it go completely. Sever your tie in your mind and your willingness to figure it out to me. Hand it to me and let me consume it for you. And as I do, I will open doors and pathways and solutions and synchronicities, and things will come, and you will take action and activity and be victorious in those solutions. But how do you know to do this? It is not hard. Just give it to me, and I will show you the way. I will shine a light on the path so that you may see. Come to me, be with me, sleep with me, hold me, let me hold you. Let me love you and love me back as we merge together again as one, for there is no need anymore for you and I to be separate, for me to be somewhere far in the distance, in the past, outside of self, that you only call upon in the moment of deep despair. But when you begin to call upon me each day and every moment, knowing I'm right here in your heart, just waiting for you to ask, that I shall give to you whatever it is that you are desiring, with the willingness that it is in alignment with the divine perfection and order of the universe, as you are obedient to the Victorian solution of whatever that may be, and so it is. So hand it over, and I shall take it from you. Come with me, my dear one, and walk with me in my shoes. Walk across this beautiful planet, and every step you take in gratitude for the blessings and the beauty of what you see. And where you see despair and suffering and pain and horror, bless that too. And as you bless it and send it love, as you accept it and see it for what it is, it gets consumed by my light as it begins to transmute itself into a new frequency that reflects something new, and no longer does it appear within your experience. And so I ask you today to hand to me whatever you may be, to hand to me whatever you no longer want to hold, and to trust in me. I ask you to see with my eyes the beauty that I see in everything. And I ask you to hear with my ears in the way that I hear the beauty of the birds, the nestling of the leaves, the rustling of the leaves, the music of the violin and the piano playing, the beauty of the song of the voice, all of the beautiful sounds that come from the bells, attuning to the vibration and the energy of sound in the voice. May you use your words to speak truth and love and compassion, consideration and joy, excitement and bliss. And when the words come to gossip, to criticize, to judge, just hand them to me, and I may consume them with my light. And when you do it, do not turn back on yourself and say, I shouldn't have said that, and that was critical, or that was fearful, or that was judgmental, or that was gossiping. Just bring an awareness that it is there and hand it to me, and I shall consume it. And then keep speaking as though you are speaking from the presence of the I am that I am, of who it is that I am, that it is you, and speak with my voice and speak with love, with the attention and the presence of being present with another. I look to many of you and I see you are with those that you love. They are right there for a very short period of time, for you are only in this body for a flash of a moment and then they are gone. And yet are you distracted and looking at your technology and your phone and your thoughts and your calling and all of these things? Or are you really with those that you are with? Are you loving those that are right there, right now, in front of you and cherishing them in this moment, in this fleeting moment? And so from the I am that I am that I am, that is you, I remind you of this. I remind you to act, to feel, to love, to speak, to see, and to do, just to be as the I am that I am, which is you, would be, filled with love and compassion and understanding. And sometimes that love and that compassion and that understanding means being strong, having boundaries, standing in your power, speaking your truth. For it does not mean to be a doormat for others to walk over, but it means to be clear with conviction and understanding and knowing and freedom. And so I am here today to bathe you in that. I am that I am, that is you, and I love you. I have never left your side, nor will I ever, for I am eternal, as are you. And as you turn to me and give to me that in which you have created within the construct of the mind to be something that is a problem other than what it is, I will show you the pathway to the light and the consumption of it for the healing and the miracles for all. And so it is. And so it is. And so with that, I leave you from this voice, but I will never leave you because I am you and I am in your heart. So bring your hand to your heart and feel me. Feel the love that I have for you and know that I am always there and that I will never abandon you. I will never leave you. I will never judge you. I will never criticize you. I will never gossip about you. I will never see you other than perfectly divine as you are. Know that and trust in me. I love you and good day. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the blessings and the donations that you guys send me. I am in gratitude for that. I don't always send back a thank you note to each person. I should probably figure out how to do that, but thank you. I will be here with everybody on Wednesday at 11:11 a.m. Same link to connect to healing for the earth and for humanity. So invite your friends.